To the Wednesday edition of TruTok Morning Show. We come to you on TruTok Radio 98.5 FM and also on our Facebook page TruTok FM. Me will bring the program this morning at Ishmael Saidukano. Well, this morning we want for look at climate change and how it on the Hamburg we country. We all listen how the rain they come and how other things that they happen we not normal as usual. So we can talk about this extensively this morning. And also we expect two people for can engage in this particular topic when I expert them in environmental issues. Me and Ishmael Saidu can also say, and we work for both of us for this news where we will can deliberate on this topic.
In Cabo, this is now TruTok News for today, Tuesday, September 24, 2024. With me, Michael John FOFANAH. But first, we could take the headlines. Regent community don't raise concern, but the crack. Now, the community hospital, National Disaster Management Agency, don't pull assessment reports of different flooding them will be done happen. The Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary School Education don't inform all principal of schools then for upload the continuous assessment scores for SST students them. That's now being the headlines them now for the full news. A Regent community they faced with series of crises of health crisis and same way so the hospital don't hold and get crack them. Well, a man away now Joseph S. Bangura being raised this concern and a call on Papa government for make them get quick intervention before this hospital cause disaster. Reporter Mama Kalma gets more.
Health clinic now one important for every community as they give the people the health care where they need, especially with emergency cases like where born, old and young people we sick, ki able get quick medical attention for make the get well body. Community where not get health facility can get big problem because health clinic now one thing where people knocking down without. Regent Village community where they na western area Freetown get over 22,000 people where they live there according to research. This community don't face serious problem but health matter. The headman for Regents, Joseph S. Bangura, the talk say one big challenge within the face na the community na health issue.
By virtue of the profession, my own profession being a construction person, where I go to detect say the building itself gets some structural defects, crack everywhere, and some crack and the way you see, you know say this one na real structural one. Few months back, we see say the condition will become so damaging if I go put them. That to the point that part of the structure even collapse. You know, before God, like before affect the CHO, in assistant and other nurse for health facility in our area, because this Regent Health Center, you know, I will call them a center for all other villages them where they bring them sick. And so since that day, we then come then give the resolution day, then we don't stop for use the facility. So it don't make the health situation don't become so critical at the village. Now when people then go to the hospital, then they refer them to either Connaught or 34. You know, that they happen, or to other private clinics them, where in order to go well for the village at all.
The headman be go on for say they began for talk to the government, council and the ministry then where they in charge of the issues here. And this now what they began for tell them for do.
To council and the ministry be see and say they want for do a relocation, a temporary relocation of the facility itself, so that they go for can, if possible, say then demolish them, do another one, or then do structural, then do proper renovation to it. So they've been giving me the headman an assignment for make we look for place for do temporary relocation. We will search church all around, no we forget, but we'll be direct attention also to the Anglican Church, St. Charles Church, and the Anglican Diocese. We asked them for space, and indeed they've been adhere to we request we will make to them to writing, then decide for offer we a place where we do temporary relocation of the health facility. That we don't do, we await the legal side of it, because you see and say for sign an MOU, memorandum of understanding on the place, because we make an appeal for 1 year 6 months. Now we want for me to help with space for relocate the health center in the facility until they do renovation or reconstruction to the structure.
But for now, then the big government for come to the aid, because then just they manage the situation right now. But if quick action not take place, it can lead to big disaster.
And so instead to get cracks. So I take the opportunity for appeal to government and all institutions very responsible for healthcare. So do you on account to aid, on respond swift to this issue in our region. You know, I know while we take them, we say if I be no, I mean if any disaster can be following back, we say if I be no. Now all over they see building they collapse. And now for make we have to be in that kind of picture. I can see that happen. So I take the opportunity for talk to government about government that you get to it. We really on account to aid and make una look into this issue as swift as possible.
The region's community they hope for quick action for resolve this health crisis before this situation gets worse. For TruTok News, me and Mariama Kalma Mara, they report.
Plenty thank you to reporter Mariama Kalma Mara for that report today. Now, the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary School don't hold one press briefing for inform school principal them for upload the continuous assessment scores for SS3 candidates. Them we get for seats the 2025 West Africa Senior Secondary Certificate exam that was possible before the closing date. They could take the two.
The West Africa Senior Secondary Certificate exam, where beaucoup people can call was, na examination we can determine if school piki they qualify for enter university na Salon and other countries in West Africa. Ministry of Basic Senior Secondary Education, were responsible for book learning in the country, below introduce one system where they call continuous assessment scores. Where this means say, principal then a different school for upload school picking their grades then from SS1 to SS3 before they go take the WAS exam. During one press briefing where the ministry be all, the acting minister of Ministry of Basic Senior Secondary Education, Mamusu Morana, explained the number of schools where they upload the candidates' continuous assessment scores out of 784 schools where for do so.
As at Monday, today, 23rd September at 9 a.m., only 60 schools out of our 784 schools remaining or outstanding 224 schools have not submitted or uploaded any cards. A total of 86,355, which was entered and cleared. Only 8,013 students have have been uploaded, meaning we have an outstanding of 78,342 candidates. With much dismay, our principals are also uploading uncleared students, which means students who are not qualified for MECE, who have not passed the MECE exams and not qualified for WAS, are still being uploaded. I wish to emphasize here that any principal who uploads candidates that have not been vetted or cleared by the ministry will be subject to administrative sanctions via our TSC. The closing date for the updates of candidates for WAS 2025 is on Monday, the 30th of September at 12 midnight, giving us 7 weeks. It is unfair to our students that principals continue to disenfranchise them by their actions or inactions for the public examinations. This morning, as leadership, we met at this ministry and we put several measures in place to mitigate against this. We have requested that our regional staff will come to the district headquarters towns beginning today, and they will be there to support through the IT officers to ensure that even those who do not have access to internet or lack the knowledge of internet would be supported to upload onto the portal.
The Chief Education Officer, Dr. Yatakanu, talk about the punishment where principal they go face if they not submit school picking their grades on time.
Declared one, we say, okay, only 30 of your candidates have been cleared. You know what they are doing? They are uploading 300. When they know very well, or we have sent it to them, we are saying, you sent us 300 candidates. Only 50 or 60 have been cleared. So register or upload those that have been cleared. They are still going on and uploading on the internet.
The continuous assessment scores na system where they help for determine if school pikin they don't attend the school and same way so qualify for take the WAS exam. Reported by Elfrida Sam, voiced by Kalma Mara.
Well, Fambul members say you still listen and watch TruTok News na 98.5 FM and also now a Facebook page at TruTok FM. We continue with more to read. In relation to the plenty disaster during this rainy season, the National Disaster Management Agency don't pull assessment reports of the different problem them of flooding. Also them way for them and damage people from them inside rain season. And so, reporter Emmanuel Mohammed Kamara will put this story together. Make we watch.
2024 rainy season now one we don't record the highest rainfall so far. This now according to the Salon Meteorological Agency. And this don't cause plenty disaster so far na different part them na Salon. As it cause flooding na Bo, Bont, Bombali, Falaba, Cambia, Moyamba, Tonkolili, Potloko, and safe na the western area, urban and rural district them na the country. According to the National Disaster Management Agency (NDMA), about 27 communities then don't be affected by this flooding, and about 167 buildings then don't collapse. We also get school, hospital, and place them for prayer. The rains don't also affect employed people farms them where people be done plant. According to the NDMA, the cause for this flood now because plenty rains them been calm na Guinea footage along where the water go empty na the Atlantic Ocean will cause the overflow of the water na then rivers here so will cause the flood in a Salon. Inside one interview with the regional coordinator West for NDMA, Gerald King, he talks say as a result of them building collapse them don't record up to 30 fatalities when are the highest in recent years.
So and we pull a notice, and part of the notice is a section where we get say we go do investigation as to what they cause them here. So what we do, we don't make sure say we don't engage the Professional Engineering Regulatory Council. We don't also engage the CLU Engineering Association with the slide. We don't engage them together, and we don't make sure say we have an MOU and a TOI. Okay, so we then will get for inform how they get for go about this investigation. And then we visit the both president from Park and Sly. Then they together with we na the incident site na Shell, and then they on them their job now for make sure say then get professional investigation as to really what happened, and also engage the contractors then. We do them work the day and let them get their own part of the story as to how they go about for being like and place the way don't end up for claim people lives and so at the end of the day, when the reports they come out, we will make the public know. But for now, the most important thing we after the incident now for ensure say we make sure say we save lives and property, and also recover those who succumb to the incident, because we know we left them be. And we they go by we mandate. Okay, so we mandates one of we in part 8, section 47 and section 37 2b, they give provisions for demolition, but the provisions not too strong. We have to go through the Ministry of Lands, we then are the certified planners.
TruTok may also talk with the civil construction and ethics engineer Benjamin Awodeyi King. He say one cause for the building collapse now because people know they consult the necessary authorities and then they neglect the work of engineer. We go give the expert advice when I in them pose the high risk of lives and property them na the country.
So in order for preventing disasters there, so I feel say the Ministry of Lands, the Ministry of Works, the National Disaster Management Agency, the Roads Authority, I feel the need for work hand in hand with the institution of engineers.
TruTok Radio 98.5 FM and also our Facebook page TruTok FM. You know, Ishmael Said Kano this morning as I tell now we talk about climate change and how it don't affect we country. Inside the studios I get Amara Salami Kanu, one of the executive director for Environmental Forum for Action. And he with me for your can talk about this. Good morning, Salami, welcome to the program.
Good morning and thank you for having me in the program.
Yes, so first of all, let me talk about our organization. What team they do?
Well, FOFANAH, we established FOFANAH in 2004 with the aim for ensure we will for advocate a forum. Make we get to one-stop fumble talk with all the environment actors, academia, NGOs, for able to get a platform so that we discuss environmental issues. So that are the instance where we be formed FOFANAH in 2004. So and most of the interventions that we don't do, ranging from the Western area Peninsula Reserve Forest, we get support from EU for able for ensure we improve, try to restore areas where they don't degrade it. Understand? Because if you look at the level of encroachment in an area, they look at the green belts don't shift over time. So it is, I mean, it was very much important at that time. We need for out interventions. We go help with for able for restore the areas then we decided on chop off, and how for able for attract in terms of providing alternative livelihoods for the people, because the people then will tell you we livelihood hinge on the forest. But again, if we continue business as usual, that will continue for cut the trees, use them as a source of energy. We we high source of energy, we rely on firewood. Then look at these are the easiest means how they for able to get money. Then it will get a rippling effect on the biodiversity, a rippling effect in the conservation efforts of this forest. But at the same time, again, it not going to make them economically stable. So we also provide some alternative livelihood measures for ensure so we give them the correct alternatives. So during that time also they don't support you from UNDP, don't support you for the mangrove restoration. And FORAC, like I tell you, be the first organization for we do a comprehensive cartographic study within the estuaries ranging from the Cambia River estuary, the Freetown River estuary, Yaribia and Darabont. The essence was we want to know the level of degradation in terms of the mangroves. Mark you, Sierra Leone is part of the Ramsar site. We are signatory to the Ramsar Convention.
Which one is the Ramsar Convention?
The Ramsar Convention hinge on say we countries that need for ensure say we protect the wetlands. And most of them wetlands they are now they will get the lagoons, will get the estuaries, and they will get the creek. Like Aberdeen Creek.
Yes.
The stand areas and they needs to be protected. So the Ramsar Conventions make provision on that. And we are a signatory to the Ramsar Convention. So it is obligatory. So we for ensure say as a country we protect those areas. But in protection we believe no more say research for be one of the tools that we need for do. So what do? We try for know the amount of degradation, then the amount of mangroves that we don't have, and we all know the type of mangroves that we available. Then we know the type of mangroves so will survive within the climatic condition of the country so far. Because we come to realization say indigenous knowledge in terms of the people and own knowledge have not been integrated over the years in certain projects, because the people that they tell us people don't declare implement project but they don't involve we forget to your ideas of how they locally adapt to the rising impact of these issues of climate change. So we feed into that indigenous knowledge and we come to realization say the mangroves are not going to survive in all areas, especially in sandy condition and area also get plenty salts. You understand? So we ask them what now the alternative if they kind of mangrove. So this is the essence why it is important anytime when you implement projects, if you bring in the indigenous knowledge for the people then tell you what then be the adaptive measures and how you go to feed on leverage on then ideas. So at the end of it all, then we tell you say, Lord, we get an alternative for coconut trees. And what we do studies, we go to research, we find out say Turtle Island and Plantain Island they shrink. And we'll do a projection, say in the next 5 years we'll get for lost the island in there. But our intervention was very, very much swift. And the indigenous knowledge and what the people then tell we say let's plant coconut trees. Now the coconut trees they protect those islands from the sea level rise. So as not then no coconut trees they act as also called buffer. So in as much as we're not able to replenish them mangroves and those side they don't disturb, but we'll get an alternative where they actually save them. So far.
So now we'll talk about climate change, topic for this morning. People don't know the waiting at climate change, babe. People don't know the climate change, waiting at this climate change.
Well, the issues of climate change I'm so happy when you ask this question. People can mistake climate change with climate, with weather. You understand? Climate change, before you come to a conclusion, say climate change will happen, you have to get data. And this data get for span within 1 to 30 years of that data. Because if you don't get 1 to that 30 years, what are the threshold from the IPCC? The IPCC are the intergovernmental panel on climate change, the scientific arm for support the operation of the UNFCCC. So the threshold say if you get a 30-year data, analyze data where they tell you say there has been the change in the temperature trend. If you don't get that data, then come to a conclusion say climate change or they will go. Although the impact you really see the impact. Like for example, we there for experience 6 month rains, we may be the crop up, right? Now we don't see say the 6 month rain, we don't really get changes in the weather pattern. We know they get again at the stipulated time also supposed to get them. Then we don't see unprecedented rainfalls. You understand? We don't see a time they come away, we know they get this we know they get this sufficient amount of rains. And if you look at the developmental sectors ranging from agriculture, water resources, you understand, and energy, heavily rely on the amount of rainfall we actually get. Like for example, now they look at feed saloon. When this is a country that is rain fed, we don't have advanced technologies in terms of the irrigations for able for ensure say even though rain or the can, but we get then area irrigation there we will be feed. You understand? We will be used as a source of rain. So this is a country that is heavily reliant on rain. So as long as we not get the sufficient rain, the smallholders farmers, the one that will not get the economic power, they suffer a lot from the changes in the temperature trend. And also we also like for the water sector, we see say during the dry, so they get a lot of challenges in water supply. And because of the amount of water we're supposed to get, we know they get we know the harvester. You understand? So these are all the visible impacts, say climate change that we call. But climate change, before you come to realization of climate change, there should be that 30-year data way for inform you. Then we don't see say climate change also they aided by other factors. We'll get the natural factor, or we'll get the human induced factor. The human induced factor, when me and you now they cause them issues, and because if we get the relevant amount of trees, we look at the topography of Freetown, for example. We don't do there is rapid urbanization, construction activities they carry on up the hills, and along our construction activities they carry up the hill, then deforestation get for happen. And most of the rain formation, now the trees are also they aid them up, because there is that kind of symbiosis relationship. We also need the trees then for make me and you survive, because we need that oxygen there for able to survive. Then what we they give out, they need them for more than manufacture them food for more than survive. So as long as they continue to do deforestation activities, they cut down those trees, you understand? Then it is say the rain the rain the less. The amount of rain where areas like number 2, areas like Tombo they get, will not they get an autonomy because of what? Then get enough amount of trees. And those trees and they aid what you call the rain formation.
So in the kind that pass.
Yeah, sure. Because then get now they tell you see the essence of why or the essence of why we're able to conserve those trees. Then trees are not only there for able to provide the oxygen you need, but they play a critical role in most of the we activities that we need in terms of the amount of rainfall we actually want. The trees also they contribute to rain formation. So these are some of the kind of impacts way currently they occur where me and you they actually cause through what you call the anthropogenic activities.
Alright, so
now we don't see also people don't they cry over the years say flooding don't occur. If you look at the topography of Freetown, where we the geologists and call the Freetown complex, there has been so many weathering activities. You understand? There has been change in the lithology. As long as there has been change in the lithology, there are what you call ongoing lateralization processes. So most of the stability in terms of the rocks then way for make the Freetown complex stable, don't the weather over time. And no longer done the weather over time, they got a process to call ongoing lateralization process. As long as they undergo that kind of processes, then it creates what to call the loose soil. So even though you go want to do construction activities, but you not go understand say, and if for build a stable environment, wherein the rocks then look stable, we not weathered. If at the build in a weathered environment, then me foundation need for go deep down. So you don't see houses that don't fall because of what they build in areas that were not loose areas. So it is also advisable. So we need to get a comprehensive building codes for able to tell the level of constructions. We also for do the construction there, but also need to be backstop with a geological investigation. For able for tell we say if you build a certain area like let's say IMAT, let's assume now say IMAT the rocks then look stable, but we go to Regent, the rocks don't become stable. So the kind of building where then for build an IMAT we get a stable condition. It will be different from that kind of building where then for build a Regent we get a loose swell.
But people then they say if you take work permit, so it's not the difference between the work permit so if you take and the building code you say before.
Well, the building code they tell you about the level of structure
Okay.
You understand? What type of structure you for build as
But where
certain area.
data for example, what they tell you, say for example, regents na so story for bill, IMAD na so story for bill. Get any data on that?
Well, there is currently no data as we speak, but it is time again for Merck to work on it. You understand? In as much as we talk about climate change, but climate change is all about research, and will not be as a country will not spend money on research for not get new findings. Things that they go away, we need to be well informed before they make decisions. So it is important, and I would make we use this opportunity for call on the government of Sierra Leone for ensure say let's have a comprehensive research for able for tell you about the condition of the Freetown complex. That will also help you in terms of the kind of structures that we're supposed to build, then who's how for build, and then how for build because you know go build house now uphill where there's too much of breeze. All the factors and they you need for actually look at them before you come into a conclusion before you actually come.
So our climate change don't really unbox salon. The different sectors as well.
I take me time so for able to explain you. Let's say for example the energy sector. Now the hydropower we rely on for low gets energy. You understand? Or the CC during the dries, they place all the dry.
Yes.
You understand? But the issues we will not embark on, we will not harvest the amount of water we will get. For example, the ACMAD report for this year, when the West Africa Hydrological Services report, for every year they can pull reports for sure countries will go for expect high amount of rains. Countries will not go for expect high amount of rains. So for this year, according to the ACMAD report, then tell we say we'll go for get well above normal of the amount of rainfall. If you look at the World Bank assessment in 2017 when we experienced the disaster, coming to conclusion say we return period. What do you mean by this return period? The time for expect disaster for happen don't change from 5 years to that of every 2 years. So the projections on the assessment were ARUP, when the international firm, the consultancy firm we do, will come into a conclusion says Sierra Leone projection don't change from 5 years to that of 2 years. So for every 2 years, we for expect massive disaster like we would expect and so this year. So waiting at the question again, where sometimes I can ask myself, what is our preparedness mechanism? Now such report they are outside, and the ACMAD report for this year tells you they get well above normal. This was done in March. You understand? So again, with preparedness mechanism for avert then disaster back is a challenging issues. But again, somebody go tell me say, government no get resources, but we need for able for get to call alternative financing in terms of interventions in preventing disasters. We not go rely no more on government subventions. There are a lot of climate financing windows we will go able for tap into in the form of a project or programs. We'll go able for mobilize resources. Then domestically back we're able for mobilize resources say for every fuel where you they buy, for example, because these are all sources of the greenhouse gases. Although we know to a major contributor, you understand, to these greenhouse gases, but we suffer the brunt at the end of it all. So if we get a commitment for every fuel where somebody they buy 1 million or 1 cent, they go into a national disaster fund. These are always so good mobilized resources. But with preparedness mechanisms, no they in equilibrium with the response. So as long as we preparedness no they in equilibrium with response, when disaster hits, then we're not going to respond at the appropriate time.
So what if you say for be the preparedness mechanisms?
With preparedness mechanism for every year, then international institutions they pull report about countries. So when them pull them report them about, let's say for Sierra Leone, the ACMAD reports, we for able for look into then reports that will get a national team way for comprised of experts, not only government institutions. Even the universities back, we need for bring them on board, because if you look at, we'll get critical hotspot areas. You understand? Critical hotspot areas, we don't get many hazard areas right now. Hazard areas in the sense places where now are waiting disaster for many happen. But we still as a country don't get a review of the national hazard profile. Hazard profile in the sense for identifying new hotspots You understand? Now they all get for boils down on thing. On research for law identify other new hotspot areas. So we go inform government say these are the interventions in terms of we short-term plan, we medium-term plan, and we long-term plan. So even then each then who's then whether the Fodona on the one way Fodona Shell, the one Fodona Regent, because we not able to identify other new hotspot areas. Shell was never a hotspot area. Now because of now who's the fall now we don't know now say now new hotspot areas. So if we're able to embark on timely research, then we'll go able to do proper planning also. In terms of the rainfall, in terms of predictability, predictability as a country. For able for look at say for every 3 months we look at the predictability how the rainfall pattern get for day. Then we do a prediction for the whole of the season. Now, what I say, if you do that kind of prediction for the whole of the season, the tendency they say you model what you go use and not go work at our appropriate time. Now that sometimes they go tell you say rain they come, rain they come. Sometimes they go tell you say rain or they come, but rain they come because of what we want for do long-term predictions of the model there. And most of the models that they use, they not deal them for the circumstance as a country because the climatic conditions what we get are different from that of France. Now most of the models they use are from France. We call it Meteo France. You understand? So for that it's necessary for me to do short term for every 3 months. You look at your prediction. Then if there is changes, because prediction not 100%. If there is changes, you need for able for alert the people then back for me they know say yes there has been changes, so blah 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 and just other things. So we need for strengthening with technological advancements in that area. It is important. We can do it. Lord will get we own. You understand? We go fit for we own purpose. We go do prediction. Where at the end of the day we go give reliable and concrete information to the people.
You know, they far behind when it comes to addressing some of the issues that really about Salon in terms of climate change.
Yeah, sure. But again, despite we don't they make some gains there, but we need for build up on their issues there. And dynamic research is very, very much important. If we're not able for the do review, they will not go to identify the lapses that we'll get and how for able for come with concrete measures there. Way for these are kind of workable solutions. So at the end of it all, like the CC, we all go to fit into the issues. Now, even the issues of our advocacy is really a concern. When me thinking at the role of the media, because it should be like a continuous issues where people need to be well informed in terms of their civic responsibility and how their impact or their actions get a ripple effect on the environment.
Yeah, because I'll ask you, within the role, you don't mention within government solo, the role of the community as well. Within people and the various communities and across safe for the do for make sure see they safe tap climate change.
Yes, but
you also because from which I observe, some people are not even aware within they do say they affect the environment or climate change.
Now that make I tell you say there should be that kind of continuous awareness raising because that's large population of the people we not able to read and write. You understand? Now few percentage of the large 8.2 million people will read and write. So it has to be continuous in terms of sensitizing them, in terms of raising that kind of awareness, so they go understand the impact of climate change and how themselves they contribute to the impact of climate change. But again, how them go know the dynamics? I always say the civic education needs to be continuous in terms of they're not for being areas where they're supposed to be. Now you don't see even from yesterday. The whole of the night we don't get unprecedented rainfall, and the large population, the country was not even was not even informed. So we will forget the issues there. So these are the kind of investment we will need partners then for able for investing in terms of having the requisite technology for do predictions and for ensure so we get alternative financing where we will help with for prepare and respond within the stipulated time.
So looking at if you say if this then see continue the activities there continue, I will affect Sierra Leone economy in the years ahead?
So we are looking at it in two scenarios.
Okay.
What we call the business as usual and not business as usual. So the business as usual means if we continue this current trend like how it moves, so how the economy get for day.
Yes.
The not business as usual, if we put the necessary methodologies, the necessary tools them all supposed for get as a country, how we go able reverse the impact of the climate emergency. So firstly on the business as usual. Now the projections then where the international institutions like the IPCC don't say we are the third most vulnerable country in the whole world. The environmental performance index rank we as 155 out of 188. So that tells you the vulnerability status of the country. So if we continue for do what we not supposed to do, like for example, the rate of deforestation, you understand, exporting of timber logs within the protected areas, as long as overpopulation, because if you look at, for example, Freetown was only meant for few people, now we get over 2.5. So the quest for natural resources they increase. As long as the quest for natural resources they increase, then none of the business as usual, then economies gonna be affected. For example, let's take agriculture. If we continue to do deforestation activities, then we get a change in the rainfall patterns. The amount of rainfall we need, especially the smallholders, for make them actually thrive in their agricultural activities, go be hindered. So as long as it is hindered, then it gets a ripple effect to the economy. But not business as usual means we get the requisite expertise as a country. We'll do the relevant research for able for informing for do proper planning. So with interventions in terms of response could be timely, and that will be able to reverse the impact of climate change when the climate change hits. Now the issues is all already here. But waiting at the measures that now we need for able for adapt in terms of adaptive capacity as a country for maintenance. The law tries to say because some issues of climate change, like for example, the seaweed, you don't see the seaweed they pile up within the beaches. If you go now the South Americans, they can convert them seaweed to something usable. So some issues where climate change the cause, you might see it as an issue, but it's really a blessing where we will create jobs. You understand? Because if you look at the seaweed, if government now say they intervene on that seaweed, government is spending $11 million for import fertilizer. You understand? And the seaweed can be converted to liquid fertilizer. You understand? We not even need that kind of advanced technology. You understand?
Waiting here cause this seaweed, because if you go to the beaches now, the place untidy, the stench, the smelly all over the place. Waiting really bring that in the kind of the beaches.
So if you look at Brazil, you look at Sierra Leone, we almost get the same climatic condition.
Okay.
You understand? Geologists will tell you say the world be there to together. So if you look at the structure of Africa, you look at the structure of South America, then areas there we assume say then areas there be there together. But waiting the aid to the processes of the seaweed, you know, say the ocean they store energy for a very long time.
Yeah.
Where sand the warm, the amount of heat where they trap into the ocean, they store it for a very long time than upland. Upland now the sand will warm, but the energy they repel back. So as long as you get high amount of energy, and not only the seaweed, we go to call the seagrass. The seaweed and the seagrass, then able perform they able for manufacturing food. As long as that energy continue for dinner the ocean, then the seaweed they utilize them for make them manufacturing food. So then they see and say now a high nutrient value in the sense. As long as the energy need the need for able for manufacture and for the manufacturing food. As long as they manufacture the food, then they overproduce. As long as they overproduce, some get for die, some get for come back. So and the soil they accept foreign so something. So the amount of energy where the ocean they receive during the dries in terms of the temperature. Now energy they store for a very long, I mean very long time. So the seaweed they continue for overproduce, and with the sea would get a junk of within the flank of the shorelines.
Okay.
But again, waiting at the kind of measures they will need for ensure say we know they only take them seaweed there and bury them at the ocean. I mean at the beaches. Look out innovative ideas how for convert them seaweed. We'll go create jobs and at the same time go create an economic activities, especially for the youth. You understand? Then we just take them at the end of the day. We still dump them at the same and at the same
Okay.
environment.
I'll come back to you. It's on 9 o'clock now. I'm Salami Kanu, and I'm the executive director for the Environmental Forum for Action. You they listen to TruTok Morning Show. They come to you on TruTok Radio 98.5 FM and also now the Facebook page TruTok FM. We want to go for this short break, and when we come back, we will continue for discuss on the climate change issue, especially the seaweed business. And Salami don't mention earlier say we can use seaweed for do other activities. Then we will bring income into the country. Let me go for this break. When we come, we will continue. Ishmael Saib Kano. I get Amara Salami Kano, the executive director for NFORAC, and we don't talk about climate change and how it affects Sierra Leone. We don't talk about the various sectors them way climate change they are in the country. Amara Salami Kano, you mentioned earlier about this seaweed. We don't talk lengthily on, but the economic side of we they mentioned say Sierra Leone can use them for plenty things, and because if you go to the beaches now, they just they get around and go fence for 2 years. In fact, the other time I think last week or so, Ministry of Tourism, Tourist Board and go, then they dig the sand, then they put the seaweed inside, then they get somebody they put in the bag for go fence for 2 years. What do you feel say for happen? Because even we be talk to Kai Bokari Sakwi, the communications director on Tourist Board. They tell you say them be partners, then we don't opt for let them able for the user for do other things, then we go economically benefit Sierra Leone, but still so now the economic benefit the way the seaweed go bring up.
Well, seaweed gets much economic benefit than what you would even expect.
Okay.
You go to countries like Brazil, then they get the same amount of seaweed they get and the same amount of seaweed where they go on the shorelines of Brazil. Okay. Like what I make mention almost say the geographical structure of a country almost not the same of that of the South America. And Lord take one of the economic activities like what I mentioned earlier. See, we heavily rely on procurement of fertilizer and the flagship program of the government of Australia Leone. There is no way we will get feed alone if we don't get the requisite fertilizer supply. And seaweed can be converted to organic fertilizer through a process called fermentation. Where not to high tech you even need. If they put the seaweed inside rubber, then you left them for like a week. It is smell, rotting. The water of that seaweed can be used as fertilizer. So not a long process. But again, how it affects the economy. Now, for the collection and sorting method, we will employ youth them for be highly involved in that. No to job we don't create. You understand? The processes of fermentation, with a chain, we'll get other set of youth them back where they do the fermentation process. No to another job we don't create. Then where they don't get the brand in terms of the product, where they don't make, we need for go to call marketing. We'll get another set of youth on the chain of that marketing, not another job back we don't create. So the one sector where now the fertilizer area of the seaweed, you understand? Because the fertilizer will therefore look at the potassium content. So over the years, and this opportunity will encourage the tourist board for do. Not to always spend money for do collections. Then back for back on research. Long know the potassium content of the seaweed. Because if you get the potassium content of the seaweed, then we'll be able to see how we go use them in a stand as fertilizer. Where if now government set the ban from then set of you it now big job we just don't create for them. The other aspect back we need for look at for this seaweed we go now energy. The seaweed we're able for use phoenix we don't starter. Where the seaweed they use them for able for produce light.
Wow.
Yes.
How?
Well, they use there is machine the way way phoenix we don't make. But we don't collect the seaweed. You dry the seaweed. May it dry because of wetness. May it dry for dry. We don't dry extensively. The people tension out machine. The heat when they produce gets a tendency for me to produce light. So we go do to call piloting. If not on that kind of large scale we do it in very small scale. We do them piloting and they will do for look at it. The seaweed can be used as medicinal purpose. You go inside you go countries like China. They use this seaweed as a medicinal purpose. So we can even convert it to them medicine and then we export it. Understand? We go kind of revenue. The seaweed also go use as ornaments in terms of doing the decorations and other things. So there are a lot of economic benefit and they will get from the sea
and the seaweed affect the tourism sector as well, because we interview people and tell people they need to go to restaurants that much because of the stench they get them and
yeah, true. But again, that make it always stay easy. Sometimes we are seeing these issues as problem, but they are also blessings. Now government in target now for provide over 5,000 jobs for youth. But again, if we not diversify areas and we go to create them jobs for the youth, it's going to be challenging. So it's hard time for them to look at diversifying actions where we go to support the economy for drive and at the same time reduce the rate of unemployment for the youth.
Okay, now let me talk about like where the rain cancel from yesterday. The rain became non-stop, and we see how you are more proud in it as well. And this morning, fishermen can always go to sea for go fish and try to carry it and fish them for the market. How the rising the sea level and all that stuff, then they are bug. They will fish in the fishing sector.
Well, me and one of the experts on waste. Okay. Yeah, now me they developed the first zero waste interventions. Okay. Then I look critically into plastics. If you look at most of them rinse here where they come, they empty in the ocean. And most of the areas, let's take for example like Kleintown. You don't see we get 2 exhausted dump sites.
Yes.
One of the exhausted dump sites na they
Bome.
Na Bome. If you look at Bome, most of the plastics and where they within Bome, no they degraded, and plastic not degraded until they reach 100 years. So then still they deal within the same environment. And let's say flooding occur. As long as we continue for experience, boating with the way through the experience, so there's going to be what we call transportation activities of those plastics. And the plastics they empty themselves in the ocean. And the fish they feed into them plastics there. If you look at the plastics, you get what we call the chemicals of concern, like pops, U-pops, and mercury. You understand. So as long as the fish then weigh me and you the survival in terms of we nutrient value, they feed on them plastics there, then in return. It's simple on the food chain. You understand? Return back me and you go for it, then we fish here. Then don't get discussions the top level of globally say plastic now one of the major problems. How we go for ensure say we will for tag plastic them from the source. We're not gonna go to the ocean. And you see say the fish that we'll get, you understand? We'll get so many empty points from the hills where target for run from the hills, and they take their plastic they put under the ocean. So most of the fish that we'll get, and the locals in terms of the fishermen, they're not gonna kind power they for go now the middle of the ocean for many go fish. So then they stay within the surrounding waters. So automatically them plastics here where they empty in the oceans, the fish them where they feed into them plastics here, now they'll go for it back in return. So they really see they go for the cricket to call serious health concerns going for because as long as we feed it to them plastics in back, then we health not be that we health not be that kind of guarantee. But the fisherman them back need for able to understand what you call sustainable fishing methods. Example on the kind of nets then way that they use. Because if you look at areas like Funkia, Tumbo, then still they use the old nets. Then small nets then. So you see say the fish then way for able for breed, now them back they catch, and the other big one them back. So as long as we continue for get what you call the unsustainable fishing methods, then it's really going to create that kind of scarcity at the end of the day. Then the other issues of concern back now the mangroves. You know say the mangrove now they the fish now they the breeding ground for many fish that lay the egg. So when we do the assessment, we come to realization say 33,000 hectares of mangroves from the Great Scarces River estuary and that of the Shasha Abo River estuary. We don't lost them mangroves in the past 5 years. So that they tell you clear indication say the fish stock was supposed to get in terms of the amount of fish don't drastically reduce. So law ensures say we need for do afforestation practices in terms of for replant the mangroves and back. Get a sustainable fishing methods where go help with.
For the look of things, you get plenty for do that salon. For let we cover all in things there.
Yeah, sure. Now let me I tell you say we planning need for be in equilibrium to response. So when we get these two factors working too, then you will see say we approach go be different enough, and we goal as a country. We go able reverse the impact of the climate.
And I think so need for do more for engage governments, because some of them things they are so.
That make our always say. That make our always say. The issue of climate change not a one man fight.
Yeah.
Governments alone cannot fight it. Now that make we need the National Climate Change Council, because if you go to countries like Nigeria, Ghana, then gets a council where they look into climate change. These are expatriates, these are academians, these are private sector, these are media personalities, where also they contribute into that national transformation drive for able for contribute aimlessly within the government in economic intervention for able for government issues here. So it's not a one-man show. Now that make we still continue to call on the government of Sierra Leone. Then really need for able for look into. Now then we also the develop what you call the Climate Change Act. Then the Climate Change Act is currently ongoing. For look at make with the country try forget what to call an act we get for deal in the issues of climate change. But again, if we don't have a national climate change council inside that act, then everybody will work in silos.
So now don't make sure say that they go have to do engagement.
Well, it's not for only engage. It needs like a continuous consultation process. A continuous consultation process for everybody. Now, government no try for roll out the processes. The process just don't start, but the process need for be roll out. So what we really think about for do as an institution and for able for developer to call a policy brief. A policy brief now get for look at the essence why we need a national climate change council inside the climate change legislation, because if you decide that kind of legislation, then the council will get a role now for able for advise government in terms of the technicalities, in terms of the kind of approach that we will need for able for adapt and also try for mitigate the rising impact.
I'll come back to you. Let me go on at 9:15 now. Let me just take this short break. We will come, we will continue for engage. Salam. 5 and we Facebook page TruTok FM. Mina Ishmael Said Kanu. At the studios I get Ama Salami Kanu, we are the executive director for NFORAC, we are Environmental Forum for Action, and we don't be joined at the studio by Abdul Karim Mara, we are the executive director, Global Youth Counterpart. Welcome to the program. Good morning.
Thank you, Ismail.
Okay. So which one are your organization they focus on?
Well, we organization they focus on young people. We work more on the sustainable development goals. But we mission our position for pioneer young people level sustainable actions. And like I say, we work with the SDG, and one of the key focus are the climate action without a quantity. Yeah. So over the years, since the establishment of Global Youth Counterpart in Sierra Leone, we only work with young people now. We don't partner with local institutions, government institutions, and developmental institutions for address climate change and also empower young people across the country.
Okay, so tell me with him on they do. You mentioned say youth engagement with him and the specific activities them and how they don't impact on Sierra Leone to climate change.
Yeah, so a part of the youth capacity building portfolio we get over the years, we only work with Freetown City Council. We signed partnership with Freetown City Council in 2019 to 2020. So we are the initiators and the lead CSOs or youth-led organization. We take the lead for implement the Freetown campaign projects. I mean, that project they look at how Freetown, the trees the way Freetown be done lost in terms of deforestations, and how Freetown got exposed to a lot of climate-induced problems like flooding now, for examples, and how we will make sure we go back to history and get them trees and they back. So the goal of Freetown now being for plant about 1 million trees at that point, even though now we don't pass that day. But also the structure, they also look at the community-led approach, because we know we say climate change, you get the natural factors, you get the human factors, and one pandemic then we believe in our deforestation, and whether the more they contribute to that, are the communities then.
So in addressing that, you get for use the community-led approach. Because if you dey go solve somebody in problem, you know, tell us say this na you dey do am and na you for involved for do am. Then at the same time you dey take action for am, and that action then will become sustainable. And that was the reason why the project we look at the community led approach. So they deal with community, but more so the project they focus on young people, men and women within the community. So one key element of the project where unique bottom is not only about tree planting, but also if you look at the technology based approach. Because we know say trees and we don't they plants. You know, we also the part of the Ministry of Environment, the plant the upline, plant the other part of Freetown. But the unique part of this one, Freetown, the Freetown, now that for every tree being planted, we get what we call application the way it develops. So the project being strike partnership with Green Stand, we're in a US base, now tree platform, open source institutions. So it depends the kind of cloud, the kind of storage where you need for able address you tree. I mean the trees that we plant. So then develop the applications. You just need for get your experts, then give access. So that application, how they use another tree planting, that we'll get the young people then like I tell you, the young people that we work with between 18 to 35 years. We'll get young people then where we train. By then when we start, we say the least requirement of phone or minimum requirements now to take no spark tree by then. 9 million and style or 9 million affordable by then. You can even get more than that now. But also now 100 based applications. So we train them, install them phones then. So when you plant the tree, how they work? First, you get for open account. I guess when you open the account, you input your name, you input your phone number. Then from there, so based on the World Bank reports, the project been divides the areas into 13 catchments. Because World Bank been do, I think after the month slide, then do what they call multi-hazard reports. Yes. So based on that, the project look at as okay, then prone zones there where World Bank capture around Freetown. Now we divide them into 13 catchments. So we get catchment 1, catchment 2, catchment 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So which not the area there?
Yes, so one are Aberdeen, Tower Hill, you get Lumley, you get Regents. We say if I'm Monteme said me now they operate. Yes. So we they operate now Monteme, we they Grafton, we they Leicester, we they Gloucester to go around the FBC.
So what are the change will happen now as Una said there for first climate change?
So that's fine. So one of the change will happen now that's the trees and the areas where they may know the deforest over the years. We don't make sure say over the years, in the last 4 years, we make sure we plant trees and they back. And we look at different sectors. At the enter we brought up the top of mangroves. You look at like you go na the Aberdeen Greek. We know say down in the mangrove areas, they go part of Eastern, we know say mangroves and in other areas in there. So waiting they have when them mangroves and they know they only help for let the fish and feed on them, but also it help for absorb the water. So most of them and because of the urban expansion, people they want to live, they want to build, they want to do constructions, so they don't pull most of them. So over the years we don't make sure say we plant a lot of mangroves, and we also we talk about water shortage. Yeah, because you cannot talk about climate change, you need to talk the impact way you get from in terms of water. Yes, we all know the difficulties what we don't get.
Access to clean water.
Yes, so around the green belt area, we don't plant there. And also we go to call the watershed planting. We don't look at the water side for the plants. So but most time people they ask how, but when they plant, but still the problem we don't see it to solve. But it's a gradual process. I can say what you they feel now. Most times yes, now we contribute as human, or maybe now forefathers they you papa and then we don't they contribute for what they happen now. Because then trees and they wouldn't don't cause. So if you can't plant them back, you don't go expect to plant tree today. It will grow today, it solve the problem today, because trees get a lot of values, right? One, they hold the water, at the same time they give shade. At the same time, we get a kind of exchanging relationship. Yeah.
So yes, continue.
Yes. So for let you will get all them qualities, and for let you will give back to the society. You get for give and time.
Okay. Now we Goma Valley be done the Gombo say people from that number 2 area don't they come near the dam and encroachments don't they happen. The last time we go there, I think our well salami been go there. We go watch, go journalists then go watch, we see and show we the side the encroachment they take place. Now, how worrying than they be, especially for residents in Afriton, we depend on access to clean water.
Yeah, so it's very worrisome. So in 2022, in fact, what will be in the world at day, we set up civil society organizations will be not a kind of protest, but will be raise alarm on now. Will be even march even to the Ministry of Environment, hold placards. Because the first way the project is started, we do what we call green belt mapping. We see some of the areas and I get most of them pictures and they wouldn't do expose. And even year before last, we've been raising our alarm the way it makes even the president go there.
Yes,
They go try for make a kind of public announcement for let people and stuff for encroachment. If you go there, you dey really see say the human encroachment within they take place. In fact, even some pipe bomb, them pipe then they wait and they don't burn on them. You understand? So a very, very worrisome because we get the water source. 99 water source. So if encroachment don't take place, even if you go there, they see coal and they burn coal, when are one of the worst, you understand, in terms of what you call fossil fuel. Very, very in contribution, it bring a lot of negative impacts. So a very worrisome because now we water source and that don't they make the face water difficulties. But we don't do, like I say, over the years and for continue for advocate because government get role for play and a need for bring other partners. And in addressing climate change, I've been there yesterday. I say in a holistic approach. The CSOs they get a role, the media now your role when they do so. Bring in people, bring the experts, talk to the people, let people understand. Government also no be able to fight them alone. And one government institution no be able to fight them alone. It require the Ministry of Land because most of the areas in the body don't sell them. So some man even the time they do the project, they ask somebody, if you want to take action, you go put concrete documents, say then sell give me and the Minister of Lands and sell give me or somebody from the ministry and sell give me a get valid document. So this is not thing where the government I think it needs not only a prompt actions but it need for bring parties on board. I mean concerns, CSOs, I mean the Ministry of Lands, the Ministry of Water Resources, because one person no go able to approach them.
Okay, so we wrap up the program now. We got like 3 minutes for go Salami. Which seem for be the way forward in addressing climate change?
Well, just like what me brother they talk about, climate change now a holistic approach. No institution or individual no go solve the issues of climate change.
Okay.
Now we don't see the visible impact of waiting climate change on the do to we in terms of the unprecedented amount of rainfall we will receive. Like I make mention earlier, mainly from the ACMAD reports, we make it very clear. Say this year with the experience what to call the return period. But this we get 3 categories of term that we for be laton. We call on the jazz period, July, August, September. We now the peak time, so we still within the peak time. But we next war again at the amount of thunderstorms and all the critical meteorological phenomena as we call. Now the amount of rainfall for get this month we don't surpass that amount of rainfall. So just like I say, the issue now for being looking at alternative financing, for able to look at other options and how we will mobilize the kind of resources for able to affect this fet. Because if we not get the requisite amounts for able to affect this fet, then it's going to be challenging. The other critical issue again on capacity building, how for continuously get the requisite capacity for able for plan well, and also able for cow to raise results, then we will be informed for do proper planning. The other aspect now the issues of technological advancements for get the requisite technology for able for do one for example on forecasting. You understand we will look at predictions, say rain get for can today or rain get for can tomorrow. So we'll be able to do them forecasting them. They are ahead of time. We'll be able also for feeding and for advice the general public say the rain get for come or not. Then the other one, we need inclusion into the fight against climate change. So the gender and social inclusion fight, rearing everybody for feel belonging to these processes, and how for able for integrate communities into planning and into responses. So I strongly believe that these are the kind of interventions that we need if we really want for be adapted to the rising impact, and so for ensure say we be resilient so far.
Thank you very much. Waiting at you as we close now.
Yeah, so if he asks me for waiting way for address climate change as I go tell you say just one action. Yeah. Because we don't get a lot of reports, just like what my brother they say. We don't get a lot of framework documents. We don't get a lot of roadmaps, but the problem now for we take the actions. We know for speak them, then how they implement them. The implementations for be more than how we talk about. Because even when you go to conference of the party, the COP, these are some of the things that they tell you one action now, because we don't talk about adaptation, we don't talk about mitigation, we don't talk about climate finance, we talk about other one. But where are the actions? So now if he asks me, one thing where I recommend for Salon, I'm not going to actions. Government don't get World Bank report, UNDP report, even my brother here, they don't contribute a lot of documents. They are there, they have the roadmap, everything, but actions are not being taken.
Okay, well, I thank you for joining me on the program this morning. Well, I began at the studio Abdul Karim Mara, we're now Executive Director, Global Youth Counterpart, and Amar Salami Kanu, Executive Director, Environmental Forum for Action and FOFANAH. Well, then we don't do with him at the studios for the past 1 hour 30 minutes. We only talk about climate change and how it affects Salon. Well, now so TruTok morning show go live for today. Me don't be Ishmael Saidu Kanu. Join me again tomorrow 8 a.m. for another edition. So till that same day, tata.